morning, Commissioners, and over to you, Chair.
None of them really touch the floor.
5-second rule, right? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday, December 16th, 2025 Washington County work session. So we're not sure of Commissioner Snyder's status, but we know he's not here. Other than that, this is Chair Catherine Harrington. I'm joined by Commissioner Nafisa Fye, Commissioner and Vice Chair Pam Treese, and Commissioner Jerry Willey. First item on the agenda is portable item discussion. Does anyone have any questions? I would like to pull item 17 off the consent agenda. And here's why, and maybe you guys have a different option for me. I don't think that the guiding principles and priorities provide sufficient direction for addressing the known gap. And that's my misgiving. I don't see them in any way distinctive compared to last year's. So I just wanted to have the opportunity to say that. We could leave it on the consent agenda, and I just say that before we have the vote. Because I don't think my misgivings are going to make a difference unless you want to delay, adopt them as preliminary and then come back to it in further discussions in January. But
I sent an email about the principles
when?
last night. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen that. Let's.
Sorry.
Usually. Why don't you give a summary of what you want?
As promised, I plan to bring an amendment to the budget priorities to reflect the extra principle that was added to the budget principles during our roundtable discussion. Specifically, the language that was proposed was develop a proposed budget that outlines service changes and impacts to the community. My intention was to elevate that language into the budget priorities, recognizing the discussion that was raised by Chair Harrington and Commissioner Willey about whether the language needed to be listed in both the budget principles and the budget priorities. I went back and rewatched our discussion, the roundtable discussion, and I came to agree that distinction that the Chair and Commissioner Willey raised was important. But then as I was reading through the consent agenda posted, I discovered that the language does not appear in the document at all. This surprised me given that during the meeting, there was a support from at least 3 commissioners to add it to the language to the budget principles before moving the discussion forward. So I sent that email to flag this and seek clarification on how we would like to proceed, because that language is not in there.
So what would you, can you summarize in which budget principle you would add what wording?
Develop a proposed budget that outlines service changes and impacts to the community. And that was the extra bullet point that was added.
Develop a proposed budget that outlines service changes and impacts to the community. Yep. Okay. From my standpoint.
The discussion, as I remember it, was yes, but was it supposed to be in both places?
No, just in the principle.
Yeah, and I'm happy to let that go. I watched our video
Okay.
to that point.
I didn't understand.
And that part.
We're also talking about consult the community service level assessment tool to better understand the reduction impacts on community members' daily lives. So I think that in terms of positioning, I think this bullet would be above that one.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, okay with that. But I guess in
So
lieu,
we'll have to pull it off the consent agenda, have the amendment, move it to the action. And then I'll still say what I have to say and go from there. Okay. So that will put it at action number 7. Okay. So we'll first have a motion for the draft guiding principles and priorities. Then we'll have an amendment to that motion. So then we'll have a motion to adopt it as amended.
Okay.
Okay. All righty.
And then, Madam Chair, one more other thing, Chair Harrington, I sent another email while we're on the consent agenda. This morning, I do need to step away around 10:50 for approximately 30 minutes, 20 to 30.
Understand.
no,
Whoops, we're having a runny nose contest
Yes,
over
we are.
there. Pay no attention.
We each have one box of. Uh-oh.
I'll have to share with somebody.
Um,
Okay, so at this juncture, we're going to move to executive session, and then we will then convene for a business meeting at approximately 10 o'clock, and we will reconvene in work session time certain at 1 p.m. And then we have a very full agenda. So,
I do.
okay, great. So at this juncture, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn to executive session pursuant to ORS 192.660 sub 2 sub H for the purposes of discussing potential litigation.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 4-0. We're hereby in